Good Monday morning. Welcome to BKP Politics. I'm your host, BKP. We want to start right out this Monday morning with welcoming our new Fox viewers. We know we got some of them, folks, okay, because I blasted all over social media. Hey, everybody, there was a couple things that were really blowing up on social media this weekend. Is it Parler or Parlay, whatever their name is, the new Twitter equivalent? Okay, everybody posting on Facebook that they had moved over there and their new handle or whatever to find them over there. That was one. The second thing, well, right up at the top, the second thing paralleled there was I am no longer watching Fox News. I wonder if Fox News is going to take the kind of hit that it looks could be coming their way. I no longer, and everybody, OAN and Newsmax. Newsmax won the weekend. I'm telling you, they won the weekend, Newsmax. I went on where everybody had posted, hey, I'm leaving Fox News. I said, yay, I get it, you're leaving Fox News, and I understand you're going to Newsmax and OAN, but give our little network, fyntv.com, a chance because we are growing daily, and we are in the heart of what's happening nationally right here in Georgia. So if control of the Senate goes through Georgia, I'm telling you now, not that OAN won't do a great job, Newsmax, but right here where you're at this morning, we will do a better job, and that's my commitment to you. We will do a better job on these two upcoming Senate races than anywhere else you can tune in. That's my promise. So anyhow, welcome our new viewers right there. And there's all the ways. Just take a minute. You can contact us. We always have an available way. 9700. You can text me, email me, call, whatever. Nonstop. There you go. Let's put this up because I'm going to give me number. Well, first, let me go through a couple things. Yesterday afternoon, probably about 6:30, I received a phone call. Good friend, nice guy I've known for a long time. And the subject of the call, what am I supposed to tell these people? And this individual said, I'm on about 25 calls just Saturday alone. 25 calls Saturday alone. And I'm not going to mention the individual or the meeting that's coming up. Okay. You'll just have to stay tuned for that. But I'm on about 25 calls that, what do we do? And this friend says, I've invited three Republicans, okay, three Republicans to the meeting Tuesday night to try to explain. And this one would be two are state senators, Georgia state senators, Republicans, stay with me. And one, a Georgia state member of the House, Georgia State House, Republicans. And I said, you gotta understand something. Although you've invited them to your meeting Tuesday night, and you'll have a lot of people there, they're not going to tell you anything. They're going to read the party line. They're going to read, from the playbook that they've been given, and they're not going to answer any questions, and they're not going to have really tough statements for Secretary of State, a Republican in Georgia, Brad Raffensperger. They're not going to. I said, but here's what I will do. I will be at the meeting Tuesday night. And let's just say it nicely. I will pepper them with questions. 2 Georgia state senators and 1 Georgia state House member. I will pepper them with questions, and let's see what their answers to my questions. So we had about an hour conversation. It went real well. You're out there in Georgia. You're wondering, and you're in the United States, and you're saying, anywhere out there, what the hell happened? You know, the thing that's most interesting to me, um, the thing that's most interesting to me is the media deciding our reality. That is, if you really get into it, I got up at 4 a.m. I watched CNN, I watched MSNBC. You know, they're singing "Happy Days Are Here Again." And what got me was, all right, and I wrote it down. It's you need to accept their reality. That we're not allowed to logically think in this country anymore. We're not allowed to have critical thinking. We're not allowed to analyze. We accept everything according to them. We need to accept what's given to us. Nothing to see here. Software glitch, maybe, that changed votes. Okay. Ballot harvesting, maybe, right? Hundreds of thousands of ballots that were just cast for Joe, nobody else. Mathematicians that are statistically saying it's not possible for Wisconsin to have the voter turnout that they had compared to presidential elections in the past. We're to accept their reality and move on. That's a scary thought, folks. It really is. Now, will the president's legal team prevail? I am, as you well know, if you're new to the show, Sidney Powell is a hero. Okay, she's one of my heroes. She is. Enron, you go back, this is not somebody new. General Flynn's attorney. She is a hero. She was on Marie Bartiromo Saturday. She is somebody that when she comes on and she makes a statement, I gravitate to it because she has such integrity that I know she's not going to bring me information on the other side of that screen just to mislead me. It's not going to happen. So we'll play some of Sidney Powell's interview from Marie Bartiromo. I know many of you are talking about Judge Jeanine Shapiro, her show being canceled. I guess once the Fox producers got the rundown of the show, they said, no, you can't do that. Marie Bartiromo Saturday. I'm looking for a jump. Now, I don't want to talk in the past tense of President Donald Trump, okay? Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to say there's no hope whatsoever. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. But Donald Trump's far from over. Now, I'm not for sure if you don't end up next year seeing Trump a major stockholder in Newsmax. I don't know, all right? I don't know that you don't see a third party, the Trump party. Because what you have to ask today is, let's just say, for example, the deep state prevails here. I know you did not tune in to hear that, but let's say they do. Where do the 35,000 that showed up in Rome, Georgia, where do the 18,000 that showed up in Macon, where do the 35,000 that showed up out in Arizona, the 30,000 in Florida, where do they go? Where do the 65,000 in Butler, PA, the 10,000 in the Lehigh Valley, where do they go? Where do the 30,000 that showed up in Michigan, where do they go? And let me say this. Let me tell you who the demographic that I am really saddened for in this country. I mean, I'm serious. Some people might not understand where I'm going. one day, if you're tuned in, I will share with you some of my reasoning. I have watched black male incarceration from Bill Clinton, and I take it very personal because of a good friend that I went to kindergarten all through high school. And that being said, I've watched black male incarceration, and I watched what happened with Bill Clinton and Joe Biden, and I've watched the inner city decay. And most middle class white people have no idea what has really, you've heard things on the news. And again, if you're new, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying you've heard things on the news, but most people don't truly understand inner city decay and what has happened in this country. All right. What has happened. And I think if you look statistically, where do they go? Do you really think the black vote in this country, you really think the increase that Donald Trump achieved with black voters in this country, record numbers of increases across this country with black voters, you think they go to the Republican Party? I don't think so. And it's the black voters in America that just got set back. They just got set back. They were almost there. You think of it. Forget about it. Don't be selfish for a minute, white people. I can't say that joke. Don't be selfish for a minute. You think about it. Black America you're almost there in the inner city. You finally had a man call out the Democrat machine in your city. You finally had somebody in the White House that got up and was concerned and compassionate, okay, about 60 people shot in Chicago, 14 killed, like a war zone. You finally had somebody, okay, the Platinum Plan that wanted to invest, really invest in your community, not give it away to these reverends like Warnock and them, these community organizers, the Al Sharptons and the Reverend Raphael Warnock that's running for. You finally had somebody who cared in the White House. And it's not the Democrats, and you know that. The Latinos in this country. How come kids in cages, and how come the DACA, Joe will immediately renew DACA. How come those issues did not drive Latino vote down? It didn't. It did not. It went through the roof. Look, at 8:30 this morning, I am your host, BKP Politics. At 8:30 this morning, I'm going to have a guest from Pennsylvania. We're going to talk about what's happening there and in the inner city of Philadelphia. Now, the individual I am going to have on the phone with me is not going to discuss Pennsylvania in the way that any of the media is discussing it. This individual understands the center city. This individual understands what happens in downtown Philadelphia. This individual understands how they ballot harvest and how they steal elections in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's going to be on with us at 8:30. I'll tell you who he is when he gets on the air, okay? You'll see. But he's going to come on at 8:30 and talk. They had a big rally in Atlanta, Trump supporters. They had a big rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania case is going to go to the Supreme Court. Justice Samuel Alito, all right, said, stop, put these ballots over here. Put them over here, separate them so we can look at them, all right? Now, for the full court to take up a case, you have to have 4 justices agree. So that's going to be quite a challenge, okay? In the Supreme Court, 4 justices have to agree to fully take something up in the court. So we'll go over that. I want to go through a couple quick things before our guest gets on. And I'm not bypassing the presidency of the United States and the media telling us we have to accept their reality. I'm not bypassing that. But I am going to get right into the Senate. And the reason I got to get into the Senate right now is the president's team. Give me number 11. For example, in Georgia, all right? In Georgia, right here, Congressman Doug Collins has been named Team Trump campaign. Team Trump in Georgia has named Congressman Doug Collins to head up their side of the Georgia recount. So he's in charge. Sources tell me that he will be on, and we will find out here very quickly, he will be on a conference call with the President of the United States this morning to discuss the recount in Georgia and the investigation. He is heading that up for Team Trump. Let me tell you something. I just went down the road a minute ago. Don't turn on Trump. Republicans are in a box. Don't turn on Trump. You don't want to do it. Now, the Senate is going to go through here. Let's go to number 50 real quick. A couple quick comments I want to make before we really dig deep into the show. All right, number 50 here, okay? Hold on just a second. Thank you, Emily. Are you ready for a mask mandate? Ready? Mask mandate. You understand, if the government, and I'll just throw this out here because we'll see in days to come, there was a lot of people that said at the end of the election, the coronavirus would be over. You'd never hear about it again. But the coronavirus has the ability to allow the government to control you. That's right. It has the full ability to allow the government to control you. Now, what upset the media played a role when they played their act of being so upset in Cuomo in New York and the governor of New Jersey and so on and so forth. When these governors played a role of Whitmer up in Michigan of how upset they were, they kept yelling what, folks? We need a federal response. We need a federal response. Everything as far as the pandemic is concerned that the government, the federal government should have, could have, and would have done, they have just done that. The vaccine is well on its way, okay? Therapeutics are well on their way. Hospitalization, deaths from COVID-19, they're down. Everything from ventilators, if the federal government had to do it, needed to do it, and it was their responsibility to do it, it's done. But you hear the states yelling, they had lack of federal response, lack of, direction from the federal government. Well, what do you translate that into? Total control. Control, right? So myself, I don't think we've seen the end of the coronavirus because of the election. I think it intensifies because it does just that. It's a gateway for government control and to have a federal response. Now, the federal response will be a couple things. A trillion dollar, it'll be mega bailout for Democrat states under the guise of helping them through the pandemic. Trillions of dollars in the school systems under the guise of helping them with the pandemic, which teachers' unions will steal and these different groups will steal, okay? Watch and see our federal response. Ready for the mandate on your mask? 54. Okay. Not to upset you too early on a Monday morning, but don't forget, is this Obama's third term? Will we start seeing? I haven't given up, but we've got to talk into the tense, like Joe is it. Okay, whether you like it or not, I'm going to talk. Is this Obama's third term? Are we going to start seeing the entire Obama administration back in the White House? All right. And the one thing I want to tell you, Mitch McConnell's an old Joe Biden friend. So yes, I have to stay focused and make sure the two senators in Georgia get elected and we have control of the Senate. I have to do that. But at the same time, the reality is Joe and Mitch are good old friends. And we're looking for that to Mitch for the block. Number 29. No one wants to tell him. That's what Axios says. No one wants to be the one to walk in and tell him. That's what they're saying. The president. Who wants to tell him? Do you want to tell him? Hell no, I'm not telling him. Number 13. Biden spokesperson Ocasio-Cortez won't be disappointed by what Biden is going to do. Paris Climate Accord, right back in there. Send our tax money, right? Give China that advantage. The Iran nuclear deal, right back in there. The World Health Organization, send our money right back in there. You got it. Unchecked at the border, come on in. You know, one thing I want you to keep in mind today as we talk, in 4 years, my prediction, I have to learn the word prediction. My prediction are the warmongers are going to be back in control. My prediction is you will have a war and you will watch your kids coming home missing limbs once again because the evils of profits related to war, I think, will be coming back to this country. Okay? Keep in mind, for 4 years, the guy that was going to get us in a nuclear war, for 4 years, the guy that we could not trust with the nuclear codes, for 4 years, we have not entered one new war. Not one. Not at all. For 4 years, we have not negotiated and dropped $500 billion on a pallet somewhere for hostages. We have brought home hostages around the world. We have not negotiated in bad faith with anybody. And we bolstered the bank accounts at NATO, bolstered them, which they will stop paying immediately, these Germany and them. And he's not started one war. Now, I also, in 4 years, what else? We have not had one, send me a message, not one terrorist attack, not one on this soil that I know of. Correct me. Correct me. Send me a correction, 706-889-9700. Not one terrorist attack on this soil. Right? We've lived in peace. We have lived in peace for 4 years. They say unify the nation. The only ununified in this nation have been the Democratic Party. The only ununified division in this country has been the Democratic Party. We've lived in peace. We've had no foreign wars. We have no attacks on our soil. We had an amazing economy. Everything was there in place. You think in 2020 it's a coincidence? The China virus made it into this country and on the front screen of your TV for you to accept the media's reality for a year and collapse our economy? You think that's a coincidence? Our economy collapsed? You think it's a coincidence in the last 6 months, let's say, that we've had an unusual amount of black men in cities killed by white cops that led to rallies and riots, 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 and burning and looting. You think that's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence that the all your major leagues, Major League Baseball, NBA, football, even racing, you think it's a coincidence that multi-billion-dollar sports organizations took the financial hit that they took to say Black Lives Matter was a coincidence? That's how bad they hated this man, and they don't like you. I'll be back at 8:30. Don't forget, right after my guest at 8:30, we're going to go immediately into the Georgia Senate races. You don't want to miss that, folks, the Georgia Senate races. Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
good.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're back. I am BKP. You're watching BKP Politics this morning. And just a couple quick notes before we bring our guest in. You know, I got this message during the break. How about we start a new party, the Mega Party? 70 million immediate members. Wow, that's pretty. I'm telling you, people cannot walk away from Trump. The Republican Party, they've got to figure this one out. And I say that, can they? 70 million members. And one other note before we bring our guest in. Got a message that they're scheduling a rally for Trump at noon Friday, November 13th at Georgia Capitol Liberty Plaza. Again, that's this Friday at Georgia Capitol Liberty Plaza at noon, a Trump rally being scheduled. My next guest, Jerry Pritchard from Pennsylvania. Jerry, how are you today?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a long run here, and you got to finish the race, and we're still running. And I don't know, you know, why it's like a 100-yard dash, but the Democrats and the media decide that whoever ran 80 yards fastest was the winner.
Okay.
All right. We should got 20 more yards to go. Yeah, you remember that movie, The Longest Yard? And I like what you said going into this about the MAGA. The Republicans have to figure it out. And, you know, here's what happens. Everybody is getting up today and are going to their jobs. And the longer the time passes, people won't forget, but they're going to adjust to what it is, and all they're going to do is grumble. Now, I personally, I'm no longer for, I live in Pennsylvania. I'm an area chairman. I'm probably the biggest Trump supporter in the state. I don't care what they tell you. I went out to that rally the other day, and all of them standing around and not realizing who gave them the mess.
Now, wait a minute. I want you to, I know where you're going with this, and I want you to be clear for our viewers that are trying to put this together. So there was a rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the Capitol Saturday. You went there, okay?
Yes.
And what you want to clear up with our viewers right now is you can be mad all day at Democrats, but let's be clear on who gave you the mess. Now, go ahead.
Okay. When you said the Republicans got to get this right, listen, you already know what the Democrats are. You don't try to fix the Democrats. That's a waste of time. Okay? You just don't do that. You better fix the Republicans. They're the problem. They're the problem, not Trump. I always said Trump ain't a Republican, Trump ain't a Democrat, he's Trump. You better fix those Republicans, and you better fix them fast. All right? Hold on one second, Brian.
I never know what's going on.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. When you have the power to do something, go do it. Go do it. We have the power, and our state legislator, which is Republican. Is your state legislator Republican?
Yes,
You have the constitutional power, literally, I don't want to hear the process. If I hear process your deer when you shoot it, all right? But I don't want to hear process ever again. Okay. You have the power to pick your electoral college. It's a constitutional power. It is given to the legislator of the states. That comes from the United States Constitution. That don't come from some think tank. That don't come from Fox News. That don't come from anything. That comes from the Constitution. Okay. We threw the Constitution out the window with the whole COVID thing. That was the first mistake, but we made mistakes. That was the first grabbing of power that they didn't have. Well, let's grab our legal power back. If Brian Kemp got any backbone, he sends that legislator there, and you guys pick your electors. Let them scramble. Let them run around. Hey, let them kick and scream. They're the ones who stole the election. But you have the power. to give the Electoral College to Donald Trump legally in your state house. You have it in the Constitution. So do we. And they know I know it.
Why do
and
you,
when I got out to the,
go ahead.
okay,
Go ahead.
when I got out to that rally, speakers for Trump, I love to hear them. But guess what? Then our Mastriano, head guy of our Senate, Republican, goes up. Now everybody knows he's running for governor that knows politics. See, these are Trumpers out there. They don't even know what was done to them. And he starts giving his feel-good speech about, we got to get a new governor. Hey, wait a minute. I ran to the front. I started screaming, you gave us the bill. You're the one that gave us the stealing. People's looking at me. What is he talking about? I kept hollering, Act 77. That's the law that was passed by the Pennsylvania Republican legislature to give us mail-in ballots, or we don't have them. They gave the gun to rob the bank, to steal. They gave the gun. They put the gun in the hands of Wolf and Shapiro. And they're going to go up there.
Now, who is Wolf and Shapiro for the people that don't know that? That's your governor and who else?
Attorney General.
Right.
Okay. Attorney General came out of Philadelphia. He set it all up. He knows the gig. He knows where he stashes all his cash and all. I don't want to get into that part. Let's stay on the election. But anyway, they gave it to him. Because they, just like any old government, as long as they can attach a bill to put something in their pocket, they'll give you anything. That's got to stop. They gave the country away. You guys are probably doing it right down there in your state house. There ain't no other reason Georgia's a red state that Georgia is in this mess. Got to be somebody, and you got one man down there, Doug. But you got to be somebody in there say, hey, hold on. We did attach an amendments to that. Somebody had to give these bills, Brian. They gave it out there. We did. Now, that same legislator had no problem handing the gun to rob the election. Well, you should have no problem going and giving us our Electoral College.
All right. Now, wait a minute. All right. So I'm with you on everything. I get it. But I'm going to tell you, just like, I watch the media, which I don't want you to think I trust them, but I watch them to see what they're saying. And, they say somebody like yourself keeps yelling, they stole the election, but you don't come up with no proof. How do you feel you could explain they stole the election in Philadelphia, and especially Pennsylvania?
Listen. It's like a war room. They set up a total strategy and they executed it. Now, I know how I would do it if I was Donald Trump. I know exactly what I would do, and I would be one of them. I would get a hold of my county chairs, like my sister, and I'd say, how many volunteers can you get me into Philadelphia? I would sue for the roll call of the mail-in ballots. I'd sue for a copy of them with the addresses, where they went. And I'd get my volunteers, all your Republican chairs, and I'd get me about 1,000 volunteers, and I'd hand them 100 houses each. It's 100,000 doors. And I'd go down them doors, and I'd say, hey, congratulations, I see that you voted for Biden. And I'd have a checklist, yes or no. I wouldn't tell them this. The minute they said, I don't know what you're talking about, I checked it off. And I go back and I say, these people didn't vote for Biden.
Well, then what happened?
That's canvassing the street. This recount, they got the stupid ballots in there. Okay? They dumped them at that certain time. But they got them illegally. Now you got to go prove how they hit the streets, how they came into their hands. You know how you do that? You hit the streets, them same streets.
Well, then what happened if you went door to door and you said, hey, John Doe here, it says you voted for Joe Biden. Congratulations. The guy said, I never voted for Biden. What are you implying took place?
Okay. It was all a total, and this is like going to get way out there into this conspiracy land, but now, you watch things take place and you do a timeline. Okay. COVID was a scare tactic.
Got it.
Was scare. Let's be honest. I mean, we lost one person in our family. That was my dad. Why? Because it scared him. One reason. Scared him. Scared him, and he went to the hospital, never came back. But the rest of us, it didn't scare. We're all in this game, okay? What it did is scared all these people. So that was their first part, okay, to get the mail-in ballots. It was set up. If you watch the blue states during COVID, during this whole COVID with Fauci, it was already set up through somebody pulling the strings, right? In the deep state. Okay. And they all acted the same way. Shut down everything. They did this whole scare tactic right in the schools and all. They run off the same memo. Whoever drew up the memo, they drew it up. You follow me?
Yeah.
That's how they got the mail-in ballots. Now, they take them mail-in ballots, and the way to get them back, if you're going to hit the streets, literally, I mean, anybody that's been in the cities, you're downtown, people going into the corporate world's one thing. When you start hitting the outskirts of cities, most of them people ain't going anywhere. Well, how do you retrieve them ballots back? You buy them back. Where do you get the money? At the same time it all started, Black Lives Matter movement. And all these black people that they got fired up to tear down these cities really thought they had a movement, and little did they know the money was being funneled into the Democrat Party to buy back them same ballots. That's how they got the money to go back and buy them ballots from them same streets. You follow me?
Yeah.
They took that money. I'm not stupid, man. I know how. I know. I know the streets. I know how it works. And they went into there and they watched people as they would get their mail. Come on, I'm not stupid. And they say, this is way out there. No, this is so simple. I could have done it if I was corrupt in a city. It's simple. Okay? Just like you got guys like, I got friends like here in the country. Well, now you put them in a city. Just take that same mindset. Say, look, as they drop that mail, man, you say to him, hey, as they dropping in ballots, well, first the application for it. They mailed in, they went in the voter roll in Philadelphia and they mailed them the application. They did that. No big deal. You understand? They did all these applications to addresses right in City Hall down there in Philadelphia. They did that. Very simple. Now, that's the application process because they're going to tell you they had to apply for it, right?
Yeah.
Then when they hit the streets,
so wait a minute. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you. Wait a minute. Right. These people had to apply for it. So what are you insinuating? So you're saying they go down, they take the voter rolls, and they get teams of people to
right. It's so simple. Okay.
Right, okay.
You take a drug dealer, the drug house. Well, who watches the corner when the cops are coming? They got them. They go at block watch. You on block watch. You're watching the block. Okay. Well, you pay that guy off. Hey, let me know when the postman goes down with them ballots. It really can happen, people. Let's not get stupid. Let's not get, oh, man, your brother's out there. No, your brother's in there. It's called block watch. They took every block watch in those places. Are you there?
Yeah.
They took block watch, paid it off, and as the postman hit them things, they grabbed them right back out and filled them out. And Shapiro stashed them in one of his stash houses somewhere, man. He got a stash house for cash for other stuff, his drug dealing and stuff, and his prostitution. He's back, okay? But anyway, he stashed them in his stash house. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, they delivered them for Joe Biden. Why do you think he winked and laughed Biden? They all knew it. It was a setup. They don't care. They don't care. That's why they let cities burn. That's why they started COVID. That's why they shoved old people into nursing homes. Trump put that mercy ship out there. Ain't nobody get on it. What, 19 people? Why? Because it was a total playbook that somebody mapped out for him in that deep state. You think I'm nuts? So they went back and they got them ballots. They bought off them ballots with that Black Lives Matter money. Okay, how do you trace it? You got to start doing these things. And you got to do it fast. Well, you got to do it regardless for this election. You got to do it for the sanity of the country.
So,
does any of this make sense to you?
Yeah,
wait, I mean, they did the same process in Atlanta. When that woman lost down in Atlanta, what's her name? Abrams?
Yeah. She's
in that same tank. She got the same memo. She got the same marching orders. It's like a war. They went into war against Donald Trump. So did the one up at Gretchen Whitmer up there in Michigan. It's all the same, people. It's tied into the same way. Just look at what time they dropped them ballots. Almost systematically. It was almost like when Schwarzkopf surrounded Iraq, they thought he was coming in from a different way. And they all came in at a certain time and surrounded him. Well, all that stuff was set up to come in systematically.
So does Pennsylvania, is there a chance in the courts? Is there?
Just told you. Forget, you don't need the courts. You don't.
I got it.
Wait. No, there's no chance in the court unless you come back with that kind of evidence. If you go back there and start harping for a recount, they got the ballots. They got the ballots. How do you sit there and say that's not somebody's signature? You know, I mean, really, you ever get a prescription, you don't know whose signature's on that thing.
Okay. I hear you, but first of all, I gotta let
the
my
only way to really try to prove it, and you need something, is you need to canvass the streets.
Look, here's the thing. Okay, I got what you're saying, because if you go out there, Jerry is correct. If you go out there to Article 2, if you open your Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, your power to appoint your electors in your state do come from your legislative body. It belongs to the legislative body. Your state, let me be clear, okay? Your state, okay, your state can hold a special session and vote to send the electors to the Electoral College and cast a vote for Donald J. Trump. It could happen. But I want to look at the camera and tell you it will not. Republicans are cowards. They will not. I've already been told that, I'm barking up the wrong tree in Georgia. So, Jerry, they're not going to. Republicans are not going to.
They're not going to over here either. They're not. They said it won't happen. Well, what bothers me, the American people. All I ever heard about Donald Trump, and I got on board with Trump with my family. I would convince my own dad, everybody. Listen, man, he was going to have nuclear war. All this stuff that did not happen. He developed a great nation. Again, he made America great again. Okay, but all these people, all I kept hearing is Hitler, Hitler. No, if any place you are heading towards a regime that don't care if you live or die, it's definitely what you're electing. They're dangerous people. Are you there?
Yeah.
They're very dangerous. So I have our state rep goes to my church. He was in Afghanistan, so I gave him a pass on COVID, okay? He's home. And they're all mad at me at church because I call him out on Facebook. He was at training this week. I got to call him out somewhere. Well, you should have talked to him. I have talked to that guy since for day one. He's in my church. You all going to be getting behind these closed doors and whine to each other after service in your pews. Like, what are we going to do? Go tell that kid you had to have him that's making $100,000. It's 20-some years old. That's a fawn. That, you know what? It's time for him to be a king and put him in fear and put him in check. Okay? Go to the floor of your house. Stand up. I really wish I was a state rep. I don't care. I at least make that clear. Because Mastriano is our senator. I tell you what, when he came to that podium, I couldn't take it. We're watching the country go down and you're campaigning to be the governor. Get out of here. No, if you don't do it, and look, here's the thing. If you don't do something, you guys, us guys, Michigan too. I keep hearing everybody talk about Georgia. I hear in my own mother's mind, well, we might keep the Senate. Listen, I don't want to hear a damn thing about the Senate. If you ain't keeping the Senate, they just got away with stealing. They're going back with the same gun because there was a couple extra bucks left in the vault. And they're coming back out with it. Your process is corrupt. It's corrupt. What makes you think they might let you have one to shut us up? They might say, hey, give them a couple bucks over here while we steal the presidency. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
If nobody goes back to the process and challenges it to the degree, they have to get down in the muck with them right now. You have to get down there and fight these pigs. You got to get dirty. You got to, or you're done, man. Your election process was just done. How will you ever beat it again? What would you do to beat it?
Okay, I got a quick question because I got to run. Does Trump start his own? Now, look, I don't want to. I got to talk in two tenses. There's still a chance, and also that they steal it. Does Trump start his own party?
Okay.
His own
Does Trump
network?
here's the problem with Trump starting his own party. It's not a problem. I'm 100% for it. Trump's a 74-year-old man. 4 years, Trump's a 78-year-old man. A lot changes. You start going down fast when you get to 80. You just seen Alex Trebek die. Okay. Trump's a 74-year-old man. And he's not going to win with Trump Jr. He'll win with Eric. If he's willing to start it and say to Don Jr., hey, you don't got what it takes. You're too much of a blowhard. You're not me. You're trying to be me. If you skip a generation and go down to Eric, he's got a shot. That's who you need to put out there, a younger son. Don Jr.'s turned me off. I'm not going to get out and Trump for Don Jr., but I will Eric. Okay? I will Eric. He reminds me of his dad. He's got the structure of his dad. If he does. But you got to realize, if he starts his own party for himself, he's a 74-year-old man, 78 years old. That's a tough one. I mean, Biden didn't do it. Let's not say that Joe Biden got out there. Let's be honest. What it took to win this race. It didn't happen. He didn't campaign. He didn't do nothing. Nothing. Except they set up a gamut. So Biden didn't do it. But Trump will have to go do it again. He won't have the deep state, creating some system to help him. He won't have an electoral college behind him. You got to bust up the Republican Party. It has to stop.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Huh?
Well, what I'm saying is, does he start his own party? And what I mean by that, does he start his own party like now and start backing Senate candidates, start backing House candidates all across the country, start backing different candidates?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The mayor in Atlanta, City Hall, city limits, Republican or Democrat?
Democrat.
There you go. You got to break the system. You go back to same. And who do you tell? Where's Brian Kemp?
Republicans are not going to do it. Don't take this wrong. I don't want that debate.
Well, then who do you go to? You just gave the answer. City limits.
Is it time for? Is it
governor?
Time?
Okay, so wait a minute. That's done. So you ain't got nobody to go cry to when they steal it in the state houses and all these. Okay, they just set up a system that could last for I don't know, a system. Who are you going to go to? Federal courts? I'll tell you what. I know one thing. If we got any hope, the best hope we really have, if the Republicans ain't going to do it, all right, you set that playbook aside. Say, look, I don't want to run this play. Clarence Thomas runs the play. They get on that Supreme Court and they said this system was fraudulent. Clarence Thomas, what are we going to do about it? Because it was fraudulent. Let's just be honest. Somebody's got to do something about it. If they don't, your legislators don't, you figure out what kind of society you have just allowed. And the people that's complaining and whining in churches, listen, I don't want to hear another church person whine. If people would have got off of their you-know-what in church pews and not said, you know what he said? I don't know if God wants me to vote for him. If they would have just put their, legalistic, I'm better than Al, holier than Al, well, and went and voted, you'd never been in this mess. With no mail-in ballot. Even with the mail-in ballots, you wouldn't have been in it. The lines would have been for miles. You'd have been voting for days. But they hid. Boy, when they hid in Germany, they found them and cooked them, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's when they hid in Germany, they found them. All right. I gotta go to break, man. I gotta go to break.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Later. Have a nice day. All right. What a way to end. When they hid in Germany, they found them. So, all right. We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, I want to talk about that system that we created in elections And Ken, he said he didn't want to hear about the Senate, but I got to talk about it. Ken Loeffler and Perdue overcome the created voting system in Georgia, and the control of the Senate comes through Georgia. We'll talk about that as soon as we return.
If you want big Chevy discounts, Days Chevrolet in Jasper gets it done with savings of $8,000 on new Chevy Equinox or up to $10,000 savings off new Silverado crew cabs. We're big on discounts and even bigger on customer service. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Find new roads.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, 1 nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, folks, I'm your host, BKP. This is BKP Politics. Thank you for tuning in this morning, 9:08, November 9th, 2020. Good morning, Emily. Let's get the week started out. Now, this came in, and let me be clear, during the break, this came in, and this individual is on an election board, okay? This person is on an election board in Pennsylvania. This is an election board member in Pennsylvania, this text. They remake paper ballots in PA if they can't be scanned. So if they can't go through the scanner and the scanner won't pick them up, they remake them. If it's questionable, the election volunteer decides. One man said both marks for president were checked. The rest of the ballot was Republican. The supervisor told him to give it to Biden because the mark was a little darker. We're being bamboozled. The mark was a little, that came from an election board member in Pennsylvania. The man said, give it to Biden. It looks a little darker. Now, I want to switch gears. Let me just say this. What's at stake? I only do this show 2 hours a day. I plan more shows in the future because I plan for this to be BKP Politics, to be the number one show going into, the number one show going into January 5th, the runoff for Senate. Now, if you would like to join BKP Politics, if you would like to be on FYNTV.com, if you would like to join us in what we're doing, put up the information on how you get in touch with us. You can join us, become part of the research team, be an investigative reporter in Atlanta. We can send you to Atlanta. You can go down there, do the work. I would love to get somebody to go to all these ballot boxes and answer some questions. And I would like for somebody to watch who picks up these ballots at these boxes. But anyhow, if you want to join BKP Politics on FYNTV.com, let us know. I plan to intensify our broadcast all the way now to January. Fox News viewers need somewhere to go. And we ask some questions nobody asks. I mean, there's a lot of great conservative websites out there. Where do you think I read all day long? But, I'm not going to allow the government to tell me to accept their reality. Now, here is some reality that we're probably going to have to come to terms with. Investigations are over. Now, if Biden prevails in stealing this election, if the deep state prevails in stealing the election, we need to hope in the next 60 days that Trump lets everything out. Everything out. Now, I wonder how fast Republicans will start screaming we need to investigate Joe Biden. I wonder if he will enter office, if Republicans take the lead and the majority in the Senate, will they start immediately investigating Joe Biden? Will they? Will an investigation into Joe Biden take place to remove him from office or cause him to leave so Harris could be president? I don't know. But will they yell on day one like they did with President Trump? Investigate. Always remember something. The special counsel, Robert Mueller, was appointed by Republicans. Oh, yeah. And it was a Republican, Jeff Sessions, who recused himself. Oh, yeah, let's not forget. So will, in the next 2 months, Republicans come out and lay every card on the table? Because the investigations are over. I mean, we had high hopes about Durham, right? Hell, that's in the tank. Or will we get some indictments? Will they lay there? So what I have to do is I have to make sure that we do two things here and not just get lost in one. And I want to go to this right here. So if you're out there nationally, you want to listen to this because the Republicans in Georgia, is it capitulate, or would it be easier to say they can't stop kissing Stacey Abrams and the Democrats' asses? They can't. They can't. I don't care. I know how angry. Georgia Republicans kiss these Democrats' ass like you would not believe. And it has to stop. Now, the other day I brought this up. Somebody put on Facebook my tin hat. But let's think about something, okay? Let's talk about Atlanta, Georgia, okay? And then let's think about Houston, Texas. Now stay with me because I want to tell you what we're up against here, okay? Houston, Texas, Governor Abbott. Now, I'm not going to take Brian Kemp to task right now. I got to stay focused. But you got a Republican governor in Texas in a wheelchair, Greg Abbott. And you've got a Republican governor in Georgia, Brian Kemp. Republican governor in Texas, he takes the bull by the horns. Republican governor in Georgia, a senator running for election, has him by the nads. S-H-I asterisk. I know I shouldn't have said that. Anyhow, my sincere apology, family and friends. So you got a governor in Texas, right? Republican. Governor in Georgia, Republican. Let's look at the difference in the states. Why didn't Texas, this enormous state of Texas, why didn't Texas go blue? They were trying to make it go blue. Huh? Why didn't Texas take 4 or 5 days to count ballots? Why were they not in the grand scheme of things? Well, give me number 6. Number 6, U.S. Appeals Court. Okay? The Appeals Court sides with Texas on 1 per county ballot drop-off. 1. Abbott said you're getting 1. They freaked out. They could not put the ballot harvesting plan in effect. Couldn't do it in Texas. Because Abbott said no. And they're like, wait a minute, give me number, this is just one clip out of the article. Give me number 5. Because of the ruling, Harris County, one of the largest in the country, covering more than 1,700 square miles and containing 4.7 million people, will see its drop box locations from 12 spots, now 12. One of the largest counties in the country, 4.7 million. They went from 12 spots to 1. Other large counties face reduction and 12 to 1. And the courts upheld it, folks. If you're in Houston, you have one damn place to drop them off. You could do 1 or 2 things. You could put them in the mail in plenty of time to get there for election day. That would have a postmark that could be referenced. I don't think a drop box has a postmark that can be referenced. I think if they're picked up out of a drop box, a mail ballot drop box, which I call Democrat vote calculators. Yes, Democrat vote calculators. I don't think there's any postmark on there. They didn't steal them in election. Steal an election in Texas. Didn't do it. And this is why. Number 4, I said this the other day. All over the internet. Remember this? Remember the people taking the enormous amount of pictures of the joke? This is how many absentee ballots I received today. Do I mail them all in on the same day or one at a time? Remember, this was one of the biggest jokes going around social media, right? Now, I just read 12. There was 12 in the county where Houston, 4.7 million, 12. Okay? Now, are you wondering, let me go here first. Let me see. Give me number 65. Let's go to Georgia for a minute. The kissing, let's go to 65, and let's talk about the kissing of the Democrat ass in Georgia. Why didn't you hear a lot about this? Because there was no pushback. Democrats did not oppose this. The Republican Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, capitulated. I don't know if that's the word, or just go with kiss Democrats' ass, because we wanted to vote safely. We wanted that safe voting, hands-free, no touch. No touch. Let me give you a couple clips from right here. Ballot drop boxes approved for Georgia voters during coronavirus. The state election board, and this came back April 19, 2020. The state election board voted unanimously Wednesday, no pushback, to allow Georgia voters to turn in their absentee ballots at drop boxes, an option that avoids human contact. Drop boxes can be set up on government property before Georgia's primary. They continued to use them. Voters will be able to submit their absentee ballots without having to pay for postage. Remember, the Democrats, you got to kiss their ass in Georgia. I mean, Stacey Abrams, I have to tell you something. There's more damn lipstick on her back end than there is on her front end, and it comes from Republicans. No, I'm not joking around. It's just there. I mean, there. Don't say it. Anyhow, remember they said, oh my God, if you send us all a request and we have to put postage on there, that's a poll tax. A poll tax. Raffensperger just said, what do you want? What can I do to keep us out of court? What can I do where you won't fight me and I don't look bad? Voters will be able to submit their absentee ballot without having to pay for postage. Pay for postage. The reason they did that is because they were calling postage a poll tax. The addition of ballot drop boxes is another accommodation for running an election while trying to preserve public health. You just heard Jerry say it. They scammed us with coronavirus. You got scammed big time with COVID in voting right here. Secretary of State Raffensperger sent absentee ballot requests to 6.9 million active voters, encouraging them to cast their ballot without having to show up in person. He also decided last week to delay the primary, giving local officials more time to hire poll workers and prepare. 6.9 million active voters. He sent absentee ballot request forms. You didn't have to ask. 6.9. Is he going to send out another 6.9 million? Is he? Why? Why send them out? Let people go vote. This is the quote from him. All the decisions we've made so far have put voters first. Really? Raffensperger, the chairman of the state election board, said during a meeting held online by phone. Now, this even gets better. The drop boxes will be optional for counties because some might not be prepared to install them in time for the primary. The Secretary of State office is considering whether to use federal coronavirus relief money to help local governments pay for their drop boxes. Now, here's where I ask the questions that it's how dare me. Because here's what I want to know. and maybe we can get some answers. Maybe you can get the answers and get them back to the show. Drop boxes can open beginning April 21st. This was for the primary, but the same drop boxes were still out there for the general election. They must be collected daily by election workers. Daily. Absentee ballots will be mailed to voters starting next week. All right, they're supposed to be collected daily. 2, now keep this in mind. 2 people were supposed to go to the box together, open the box, collect the ballots. No one person, 2, right? Every day and never miss a day. If they went every day and never missed a day, where did hundreds of thousands of absentee, where did hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots come from in Georgia at the last minute to count? Why did it take days? Because I'm going to get into that also. Sierra Draper, now listen to this, with the Democrat Party of Georgia, said the drop boxes need to be available 24 hours a day and funded by state government. The Democrat Party got everything they wanted. Now keep in mind, Georgia controls the Republican Party. The Republican Party controls Georgia. Keep that in mind. This should have been like Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Damn it, you're getting 1 box in Houston. I don't care if there's 4.7 million. Wait, we're not done with this report. If counties have the funding and guidance from the Secretary of State to be able to set up drop boxes quickly, drop boxes would alleviate some of the challenges they face now. But without the support of the state, this option is meaningless for many counties, and voters will be the ones who suffer. We need to find out how much money was spent, how much money was allocated from our tax money here in Georgia for these boxes. Georgia drop box, I'm going somewhere with this. You'll want to stay on this. Georgia's drop box initiative was based on that similar provision in Utah, one of the 5 states that primarily rely on voting by mail. Absentee voting is expected to greatly increase in Georgia. In-person precincts remain open on Election Day. Each of the 159 counties can decide whether to install one. Each of the 159 counties can decide whether to install 1 or more drop boxes, which must be monitored by video cameras for security according to drop box rules. 1 or more. Who put the limit of how many boxes you could put in? And I want to know if every one of those boxes have a video camera fixed on them and where that feed is and where that footage is to see the 2 people that went every day to retrieve those ballots. I want to check to see if every one of those boxes had a video camera at all times, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I want to know if they ever went out accidentally for 20 hours before they realized there was no surveillance. Drop boxes can be located outside or inside. They must be securely fastened and be built with an opening slot that prevents ballot tampering, damage, or removal. All right? Now listen to this. I'm going to leave this here. This is a very good idea. Who thinks it's a very good idea? Now, this is a quote. This is a very good idea. Very good. Very good. Said State Election Board member David Worley, a former chairman of what? The Democratic Party of Georgia. I just think it's the right thing to do. Do you think at this meeting that Brad Raffensperger had at this time concerning these boxes, do you think that David Worley, former chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia, would have said that if he was not told he was okay to say that by Stacey Abrams, Fair Fight, and the rest of them? It was unanimous. They came in with their demands, and Raffensperger met them. Now, here's a couple more things, and I'm not going to say before we close because I want to check this out, all right? Give me... All right, so we talked about all of that. Here's number 12. Here's Brad Raffensperger. Okay. Now, give me number 3. Fulton County alone. Read them. I think there's 38. 4.7 million people in one county in Texas. Abbott, the governor, had the nerve to say, 1 box, damn it. We'll sue you. We'll take you to court. Take my ass to court. A federal appeals court judge upheld Texas saying 1 box. We couldn't have got that here. We couldn't have got 1 box in Fulton County, right? 1 box down there in Chatham County where Savannah is. 1 box up in Gwinnett. 1 box in Clayton. 1 box in DeKalb. Do you think if Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, would have said, you're getting 1 box and that's it? Well, take you to court. Take me to court, damn it. Texas just got upheld. I'm going to fight it in court. No, we capitulated. Is that what it is? Because if I get the wrong word, I'm sure as hell using it. I should just stick with we kiss the Democrats' ass. What do you want? May I kiss your ass? Hold on, Stacy's not here yet. We are not allowed to have our asses kissed like hers. I'm serious. I'm not joking around. 38. 38. Just in Fulton County. Now, let me show you something else. Give me number 3. Number 3. Bada bing, bada boom. She'll get to it in a minute. Number 3. She asked to make them real long and everything so you could see them on the screen. You got it there, number 3 for me? Okay, did I? Oh, that was number 3. Give me number 2. That was number 3. I had it. There's number 2. There's number 2. DeKalb County. Look at it. DeKalb County. Go back to 3. Fulton County. Go back to 2. Like 68 places, like 65, count them. Like 65 spots in 2 counties. 65 spots. What I want to know is I want to know why it was why it was so many days, okay? Counting these ballots. Why? Because let me tell you one more thing before I close this segment. The Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, okay, he gave every election office in the state, every county election office in the state, they got the green light to open these ballots early and scan them. Now, what do I mean by that? Remember in the article I said to you they were to be checked daily. So every single day, 2 people, okay, are supposed to go to the box together. 2. They're supposed to take the ballots out. They're supposed to come back. When they come back, they can stack them up, okay? Start opening them. Everything they can verify, they can put in a stack right then. And they can start scanning them. Now, you might say, well, Gilmore County is just a rural little county. Union County, look at how small Towns is. Look at how small White County is and Dawson County. Look, they had theirs scanned in, ready to go. Because you could do it on a daily basis. Daily basis. So are you telling me why there needs to be different answers than the media is asking? There needs to be different answers than actually the Trump team's asking to questions. Why were these ballots held, piled up, and stacked, and waited till a water main break in Fulton County, waited till the dark of night? Why were these ballots held until the dark of night for counting? Why? Who's going to answer that? Who's going to answer for the 2 a.m., to 5 a.m. ballot count in Detroit, Philadelphia? When you went to bed, Trump was up 300,000 votes. You woke up and you said, oh, holy crap. How did that happen? I just slept a couple hours, right? Why were these ballots held? Why did every other county in the state have them scanned and uploaded ready for counting? Why? Why 60 boxes? 66. And this is just DeKalb and Fulton. This is not Gwinnett. This is not Clayton County. This is not Cobb County. Oh, don't think the old days, Cobb County. This is not Cobb County. This is not the metro counties. All of them. Just 2 and 60 boxes. So let's just say this. If you had 60 boxes, can we find out who the 120 people are? Number one. Can we get the names and the log sheet for the 2 people that went every single day to these boxes that picked up the ballots? That's number one. Number 2, how do you know when they were received? Okay? How do you know when they were received? Is there a stamp? Do you go back and do you stamp them manually, received today? I wonder it's not a postmark. So do you have a marker in there to stamp them yourself or what day you receive them? So if you did get them at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning after 7 p.m. election night, that you could stamp them for the day before? I don't know. So let's find out who the 2 people that went every day. Let's get the video surveillance of that. Let's also get the video surveillance of the last pickup. Because one more thing I want to put in this segment. All of those boxes were supposed to be cleaned out, empty at 7 p.m. on the dot. Because those ballot boxes, wherever they may be. I had one here just a minute ago. I had a picture of it. Let's see if I can get one back here. Just a second. Don't get all worked up. All right. Hold on. I had one. There it is. Number 39. Give me 39. Okay. You see that box? Okay. There's supposed to be a video camera on that box. Biden plans executive actions to undo Trump policies. See that right there, that box? There's supposed to be security at all times on that box with video surveillance. And that box is considered just like a polling station. All right? And when that ballot went in there, all right, when a ballot goes in there, is there video surveillance to make sure that no ballots went in there after 7 p.m. Tuesday? Just asking the questions. I can't be the bad guy for asking the questions. I want to know why all those boxes were put out there. I think we need to ask Brad Raffensperger, number 13, why those boxes are out there. And I think we need to ask Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, number 13 I gave you, right? All right. I think we need to ask Brad Raffensperger. That's my fault. Who is 13? 12. I'm sorry. I think we need to ask Brad Raffensperger, number 12. All these questions, we need to ask him, Secretary of State. Do you not have a number 12? Did I not send a 12? If I didn't, okay. We need to ask the Secretary of State, okay? Let me see. Sometimes I don't see what that is. Oh, all right, I get it. All right, I get it. I understand. So we need to ask Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger if he is going to mail out another 6.9 million requests for absentee ballots. We need to request them, not send them Okay. And if he's going to pull these boxes, because we're going to take a break and when we come back, we're going to wrap up, but I don't want to wrap up without saying this. You see number 10? David Perdue, John Ossoff. You see that? You see number 7? Kelly Loeffler, Raphael Warnock. See number 3? Drop-off spots, number 3. Number 2. That's just 2 counties. If we don't pull those boxes, they don't stand a chance, is my opinion. So give me number 1, folks. You need to voice your opinion in Georgia to your governor, your lieutenant governor, and your Georgia House Speaker, David Rossman. Leave that on the screen, okay? First, you need to tell the governor he needs to have a special session. He needs to call for a special session to vote to have the electors in Georgia go to President Trump. Second, you need to call all 3 of them and tell them that. Second, you need to tell all 3 of them, leave it there on the screen, you need to tell all 3 of them, call their office and tell them, I want those drop boxes pulled immediately, and I do not want Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger sending out 6.9 million absentee ballot requests for paper ballots. Tell them you don't. Demand it. It's time for action. Now, call these people. Tell them how you feel here in Georgia. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back, and I am going to play my Sidney Powell videos for you as soon as we return. Take us a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Folks, we're back. Welcome to BKP Politics. I am your host, BKP. Monday morning, 11/9/2020. I know some of my Democratic friends are yelling out there that I need to accept the results. Accept the results. Folks, for those out there, I am not beyond. Let me just say this. I lived 8 years. Well, let me say this. Let's see. I'm not going to get into all of them, but I lived 8 years through Barack Hussein Obama. I survived. Now, I'm not making light of how this country's about to change and continue to change. I survived. I will say, I hope to have enough life left that it, it doesn't change to the point I can't enjoy it. But how am I putting this? My kids and your kids and our grandkids, just what kind of country are they going to be given? And I know we're living in the now, but I'm just so concerned over the future of this country and what is going to happen that's going to change at rapid speed in the next 4 years. So that being said, let me move along. As I'm looking for something tangible to say this election's not on the up and up, when I see Sidney Powell, I've said that. So whatever arguments or whatever things you may yell at me about, you could say, well, you need to get the aluminum foil or tinfoil hat. Let's go with the first one. Sidney Powell, this was with Marie Bartiromo. Nancy Pelosi's chief of staff is chief executive and Feinstein's husband a shareholder of Dominion. This is the software with that tabulates the vote. So let's go with that one first. Let's play that one.
Trump's legal team in contesting this election. Sidney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that.
That's to put it mildly. The computer glitches could not and should not have happened at all. That is where the fraud took place, where they were flipping votes in the computer system or adding votes that did not exist. We need an audit of all of the computer systems that played any role in this fraud whatsoever. And, Joe Biden had it right. He said that he had the biggest voter fraud organization ever, and he didn't need people's votes now. He would need people later. They had this all planned, Maria. They had the algorithms. They had the paper ballots waiting to be inserted if and when needed. And notably, President Trump's vote in the blue states went up enormously. That's when they had to stop the vote count and go in and replace votes for Biden and take away Trump votes.
I've never seen voting machines stop in the middle of an election, stop down and assess the situation. I also see reports that Nancy Pelosi's longtime chief of staff is a key executive at that company. Richard Blum, Senator Feinstein's husband, significant shareholder of the company. What can you tell us about the interest on the other side of this Dominion software?
Well, obviously, they have invested in it for their own reasons and are using it to commit this fraud to steal votes. I think they've even stolen them from other Democrats in their own party who should be outraged about this also. Bernie Sanders might very well have been the Democratic candidate, but they've stolen against whoever they wanted to steal it from.
Sidney, these are incredible charges that you are making this morning. We, of course, will be following this, and we thank you for joining me today. Please come back soon. Sidney Powell. That'll do it for Sunday Morning Futures. The conversation continues. I'll see you tomorrow. Mornings with Maria on Fox Business.
All right. I just sent you a Twitter video I want up. Okay. Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan speaking to CNN. Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. He may have just his future in Georgia politics. We'll see what happens after this statement on CNN. If you have that video, will you play that? I just sent it to you. If you can get that in, I'd like to go to that one next.
Yeah, so my office has been in close communication with the Secretary of State's office and the Attorney General's office, and made sure that if there's any sort of systemic examples of fraud or voter disenfranchisement across the voting base, to let us know. We've not had any sort of credible incidents raised to our level yet, and so we'll continue to make sure that the opportunity to make sure every legal ballot is counted is there. But at this point, we've not seen any sort of credible examples.
That's interesting. And just to be clear, I think everyone on earth agrees that they want every legal ballot counted, and no one wants any illegal ballots counted.
Absolutely right.
That's every single American wants that. But the question is, and I think you just said this clearly, and I'll just ask you to say it again, you haven't seen any evidence of any widespread systemic voter fraud or irregularities?
We've not seen any get to our office yet, and certainly we'll make sure that every sort of legal opportunity to make sure that that's, if there's an issue out there, we want to make sure we understand it, investigate it, and be able to make sure that we're able to rectify it.
But there hasn't been any, correct?
We've not. Yeah, so my office hasn't been.
So he missed, and let's see here. Now we're going to find out, because we need to find out who is lying, okay? We need to find out who's lying. Huge breaking news this morning, okay, at 7:58 p.m. actually last night, 7:58, Joe Hoff broke this news. 132,000 ballots in Fulton County, Georgia, have been identified, which are likely ineligible. Likely ineligible, okay? That may be he may be a one-term lieutenant governor in Georgia. So he is dropping. I told you, Republicans are in charge. So let's play the second Sidney Powell. I got a second video in there. Let's play this one.
Legal team, as you've been hearing this morning, are preparing for all-out war, beginning with a slew of new lawsuits this week, beginning with one in Pennsylvania tomorrow, along with what our next guest says is evidence of voter fraud. Sidney Powell is General Michael Flynn's attorney. She is fighting on the front lines of this battle as part of the president's legal team. Sidney, good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Can you walk us through what has taken place here as you see it?
Yes, there has been a massive and coordinated effort to steal this election from we, the people of the United States of America, to delegitimize and destroy votes for Donald Trump, to manufacture votes for Joe Biden. They have done it in every way imaginable, from having dead people vote in massive numbers to absolutely fraudulently creating ballots that exist only voting for Biden. We've identified at least 450,000 ballots in the key states that miraculously only have a mark for Joe Biden on them and no other candidate. If you look at Florida, where things were done right, you can see that that's how the rest of the country should have gone. But they also used an algorithm to calculate the votes they would need to flip, and they used the computers to flip those votes from Trump to Biden, and from other Republican candidates to their competitors also. I think Doug Collins had the race stolen from him. I think John James had his race stolen from him. It wasn't just President Trump. There were many people affected by this. We have got to fight tooth and nail in federal court to expose this abject fraud and the conspiracy behind it, and get a recount and audits in every place it's needed, which is, frankly, most of the country.
So there are recounts going on right now. We know that in Georgia, you have a list of numbers of ballots with only Joe Biden on the ticket. You say it's 98,000 ballots in Pennsylvania, 80 to 90,000 in Georgia, another 42,000 in Arizona, 69 to 115,000 in Michigan, and 62,000 in Wisconsin. Sidney, if this is true, this appears systemic. Where is the Department of Justice? Where is the AG Bill Barr? If this is so obvious, then why aren't we seeing massive government investigations?
I don't know. We definitely should be. I mean, we're getting reports of all kinds of fraud. We've got getting an affidavit from a postal worker now who talks about having been ordered to backdate ballots. No ballots received after the polls closed on voting day should even be counted. We've got multiple states that didn't even follow the rules of their own legislature. That's a federal constitutional issue. there are at least 3 major federal issues here that will require the Supreme Court to resolve this case. And when the votes are really audited and the real votes are counted, Trump will win. He is the president, and he is in charge of this country.
Sidney, I want to ask you about these algorithms and the Dominion software. I understand Nancy Pelosi has an interest in this company. Let's take a break. We'll come back with that. I'm talking with Sidney Powell this morning on her legal strategy. Stay with us.
Folks, look, I've said it before. I'm not going to retract it. Sidney Powell is one of my heroes, one of my top heroes. I think she's an amazing person. I think she's brilliant. You should Google how to save our justice system. Sidney Powell, it's 1 hour. 1 hour if you listen to it. A 1 hour video, Sidney Powell, how to save our justice system in America. Is it too late? We have to pull out all the stops. And as you can see, one of my problems is we just played the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia. Now, either Sidney Powell knows nothing or Jeff Duncan's a coward. I mean, if Jeff Duncan, the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, which we just played the tape, okay, if Jeff Duncan, the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, just said, we don't see anything, a Republican, but the Trump team is assigning Doug Collins to Georgia for the recount and canvassing. And Sidney Powell said what she just said on video in an interview. Is Jeff Duncan just a coward? Another Republican coward? Republican cowards are the problem. Okay? Now, I don't want to be careful because I guess the heartburn medicine needs to come ASAP. Get ready for the work with, okay? Get ready for Republicans that plan to work with Democrats. I'm going to run through some quick pictures, but let me show you 2 of these first, all right? First of all, number 62. Let's hit this head on. Tomorrow, I will do a direct speech. I will give a policy speech. I love it. If these people give a policy speech, you're supposed to listen a little more. Direct policy speech. Tomorrow morning, I will give a speech. I will highlight it on social media to the 9th Congressional District of Georgia. Yes, the Republican 9th District of Georgia. I will speak directly to you concerning this race. Absolutely. Okay? I know Democrats out there have all kinds of tape concerning this show and Kelly Loeffler. I get it. I'm pro-life, unapologetically pro-life. Okay? I believe in the heartbeat bill. I am hoping that this travesty, the killing of the unborn by the millions in this country will stop. If a Democrat tells me they are pro-choice, okay, I generally could just move on. You're pro-choice. If a Republican tells me they're pro-choice, I can generally just move on. But if you are a proclaimed reverend, okay? Yes. If you are a proclaimed reverend and you minister to people and you tell me there's a plan in God's word, there's a plan where God is accepting of abortion, you are worse to me to the 10th power. A Democrat calls me up and says, I'm pro-choice. I disagree with you. Republican says you're pro-choice. I disagree with you. If you think you're going to be my next senator and you're going to run under the guise of being a reverend, okay, Raphael Warnock, and tell me that abortion is somewhere in God's plan, I will work tirelessly 7 days a week to make sure you don't go to Washington, D.C. So there you go. I'm going to speak directly to the 9th District tomorrow about this in this race. The second one, number 61. I will not sit back and let Jon Ossoff, this man-child, a created candidate, win an election in Georgia against David Perdue. Tomorrow, when I talk to the 9th District of Georgia, you're going to want to listen nationally. Remember what I told you at the beginning of the show. All roads are going to go through Georgia now to get to the Senate and the majority. This is where you're going to want to be. So tomorrow when I give my 9th District speech for both of these Senate seats, if you're in California, if you're wondering what's happening in Georgia, you need to do this today. Say, look, I found somewhere to tune in Georgia. Okay? I found somewhere, and send fyntv.com our link to them and tell them BKP Politics, like our page, and follow us on Twitter at BKP Politics. Follow us on MeWe. What the hell? MeWe. Follow us on Parler, Parlay, whatever the hell it is. Follow us. Okay? No matter where you're at in the United States, you're going to want to listen to my 9th District, Republican District speech tomorrow. I got so much to do. We got a long day ahead of us. My time is up. It's already 10:02. I'm your host, BKP. You've been watching BKP Politics. Check us out, fyntv.com. Check us out on YouTube, FYNTV, Fetch Your News. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8. Great job, Emily. I appreciate you very much. Let's go.